They're listening right now to your breath, to your silence. Leave a comment, or they'll think you're hiding.
It was late, raining hard, and I was dead tired. I just wanted to get home as fast as possible, so I took a shortcut through that old forest road everyone warned me about. The kind of place that looks harmless in daylight but turns into a nightmare after dark. The fog was thick, so thick my headlights barely cut through it. I kept telling myself, just keep driving, it's nothing. But then something felt off. My GPS suddenly glitched. The blue line that should have led me home vanished, replaced by a twisting path I didn't recognize. My stomach dropped. Before I could react, my phone rang. An unknown number, no caller ID. I almost didn't pick up, but something pulled me in. A whisper came through, barely audible. "You're not alone." I spun around, heart racing. No one in the car, just the rain hammering the roof. The whisper came again, louder, more urgent. "You can't leave." Then everything went wrong. The car jolted hard, like something was trying to take control. The radio exploded with static, then cut off. My headlights flickered and died, leaving me swallowed by darkness. And then, a breath. Cold. Right at the back of my neck. I froze, not daring to move, not daring to look. I sat there, frozen behind the wheel, my heart hammering like a drum in my chest. The cold breath on my neck wasn't just a trick of the wind. It was real. I dared not turn around. Then, through the thick fog swirling around the car, I caught sight of a faint, ghostly glow in the rearview mirror. A pale figure slowly emerging from the shadows of the trees, almost translucent, like it didn't belong to this world. I swallowed hard and gripped the steering wheel tighter. My hands were slick with sweat. The figure didn't move closer, but its presence was heavy, suffocating, like the forest itself was watching, waiting. Panic surged through me, and I slammed the car into reverse, desperate to get away. But the road I thought I knew twisted and warped before my eyes, turning into a maze. The trees seemed to bend unnaturally, their branches clawing at the sky, blocking out the moonlight. It was like the forest was alive, reshaping itself to trap me in its sinister grip. My phone vibrated suddenly, the screen lighting up with an unknown number. I hesitated, but then the message popped up. "You took the shortcut. Now you belong to us." A cold shiver ran down my spine. Who were they? What did it mean, belong to us? I slammed my foot on the gas, tires spinning on the damp leaves. The car jolted forward, headlights cutting through the thick fog, but then flickering, like someone was messing with the power. Ahead, dozens of shadowy figures appeared, stepping silently from the trees. Their faces were hidden in darkness, but their eyes glowed a faint, eerie red. They didn't speak. They didn't move quickly, just slowly advanced, as if marking their territory. I screamed. The sound ripped from deep inside me as I tore through the forest road. My heart felt like it would burst out of my chest. The twisted forest finally began to thin, and moments later, I burst out onto the main road, where streetlights glowed warmly and cars passed by. Safety, or so I thought. But the terror clung to me like a second skin. My hands trembled uncontrollably. My mind raced. That night, sleep escaped me. Every creak in the house, every flicker of shadow seemed to reach out, trying to pull me back to that cursed forest. Hours later, my phone buzzed again. Another message from the same unknown number. "The shortcut will call you again. Next time, you might not be so lucky." I didn't reply. I didn't even want to read it twice. Since then, I've sworn to take only the main road, the long way around. But sometimes, when fog blankets the highway and the GPS glitches for just a moment, I swear I hear whispers, faint, urgent, calling me back to the forest. Sometimes, I wonder if the shortcut was never really about saving time. Maybe it was about being chosen. And if I ever take it again, I don't know if I'll be able to escape.
This happened just a few months ago. I was pulling a late shift and didn't feel like cooking when I got home, so I ordered from a local Thai place through DoorDash. Same thing I always get: Pad C, UW, and Thai iced tea. Nothing unusual, at least not at first. The app said my food would arrive in 35 minutes, and I zoned out watching some true crime on YouTube. About 20 minutes later, I got a notification. Your dasher is approaching. I glanced outside, no car. But a few seconds later, there was a knock. Not the doorbell, just a slow, deliberate knock. 3 times. I opened the door. A man was standing there, maybe late 40s, wearing a dark hoodie. He didn't have the usual DoorDash bag or even a phone out. Just held a brown paper bag toward me. "Order for Mark?" he asked. That's my name. I reached out and took it. "Thanks." He didn't smile, didn't say anything else, just turned and walked back down my driveway. I watched him get into an old sedan, mid-2000s, scratched paint, and drive off without headlights. Kinda weird, but whatever. I brought the food inside. It smelled fine, warm, exactly what I ordered. But when I opened the receipt stapled to the bag, my stomach twisted a little. There was no delivery address listed, just a single handwritten line in red ink. "Sorry for the delay." Again, kinda weird. But I was tired, hungry, and I ate it anyway. The next day around lunch, I went to reorder from the same place. That's when things got strange. The Thai restaurant was gone from DoorDash. Not just closed, gone, like it had never existed. So, I Googled it. There were old Yelp reviews, but when I clicked the address, it said, "Permanently closed." Reason: fire damage. The article was from nearly a year ago. The building had burned down in an electrical fire. Total loss. No one hurt, but the place was gone. I sat there staring at the screen. How the hell had I ordered from it last night? I tried to contact DoorDash. The order didn't show in my history. No charge on my card. No record at all. I checked my trash. The receipt was still there, but the red ink had smeared into a blotch, like it had been soaked, even though it hadn't touched anything wet. Now I was really unsettled. So I did something I probably shouldn't have. I drove to the address. It was about 15 minutes away. When I got there, I slowed down. The lot was still fenced off. The building was just a blackened skeleton of what used to be a restaurant. Burned wood, charred metal. But there was something else. Parked by the fence, partially hidden behind a bush, was that same old sedan. Same scratches, same cracked taillight. I didn't get out of my car. I just stared. Then I saw movement in the driver's seat. A face. The man from last night. He didn't look at me. Not directly, just stared forward, hands gripping the wheel, waiting. I left, fast. But that night, I kept thinking about that handwritten note. "Sorry for the delay." Almost like the order had been placed a long time ago, and last night he had finally delivered it. That night, I barely slept. Every sound outside made me jump. I kept checking the window, half expecting that same scratched-up sedan to be idling across the street. but it never showed. Not that night. The next morning, I made a decision. Maybe a dumb one, but I felt like I needed answers. I went to the county clerk's office during my lunch break and asked if they had any records about the fire at the Thai restaurant. I said I was doing a school project. The clerk, an older guy with thick glasses, found the file quickly. "Fire started in the kitchen," he said. "No signs of arson, but there's something weird." He pointed to the last page. According to the report, a man had died inside during the fire. That didn't match the news article I read. That article said no one was hurt. I asked for the man's name. Martin Hale. Not my name, but weirdly close. Mark Martin. I asked for a copy of the report. He hesitated, then made one for me. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I pulled the receipt out of the trash again, looked at the handwriting. It looked shaky, like someone had written it with burned fingers. I started Googling Martin Hale, and after a while, I found a blurry photo from a community fundraiser back in 2019. It was him, the guy who brought my food. Same blank face, same dark hoodie. But here's the part that really messed with me. The caption under the photo said, "Martin Hale, co-owner of Bangkok Garden, passed away in a fire in late 2022. The man who delivered my food had been dead for nearly a year. After that, I stopped ordering delivery. For a while, I even stopped eating out. But then, about 3 weeks later, I came home from work to find a small white paper bag sitting at my door. No note, no knock, no app notification. Inside was a plastic container, still warm, with pad CU, and on top, a red ink note. One last delivery, thank you, I threw it away. Whole thing, didn't even open the lid. But that night, I had a dream. In it, I was walking into a restaurant, a version of the Thai place, but intact, clean, busy, except everything felt wrong. The people weren't speaking, they just stared at me. And behind the counter stood Martin. He smiled. "Your order's ready," he said. I turned to leave, but the door behind me was gone. Just a blank wall. I woke up drenched in sweat, my room freezing cold, even though it was the middle of summer. And when I got up to splash water on my face, I found another receipt stuck to my bathroom mirror. Same red ink. "You're part of the route now." That was 2 weeks ago. Since then, nothing's happened. No more deliveries, no strange knocks, no dreams. But sometimes, when I'm driving alone at night, my GPS glitches, just for a second. The screen goes black, and then a new destination appears, unprompted. Bangkok Garden. And worse, the estimated arrival time always reads, now.
I know what you're thinking. Who the hell hires a night guard for a cemetery? Yeah, I thought it was a prank too, but the ad was real. Night watchman needed. No experience required. No questions asked. $500 per night. Bring your own flashlight. That last part got me. Bring your own flashlight? That's either a joke or a very specific kind of job. Still, $500 a night? I was between gigs. My landlord was circling like a vulture. Had no real options. So, I replied. No resume, no ID check. Just a short reply from someone calling themselves Mr. D said to meet at Stonevale Cemetery just before sundown. The place looked like something from a Victorian horror flick. Rusty gates, weather-worn statues of weeping angels, the kind of place that smells like mold and regret. He was waiting for me, tall, gaunt, face half covered by the collar of his coat. He didn't speak much, just nodded and handed me a laminated card. It had 3 rules, simple, precise. Don't talk to them. Don't open the gate after midnight. Don't look at the mausoleum beneath the twisted tree. I laughed nervously. Them? He didn't respond. He just looked over my shoulder, like something might already be watching us, and said, "They usually sleep. You'll be fine." Then he walked off. No keys, no radio, no weapons. Just me, my flashlight, and those damn rules. The first hour was uneventful. Cold wind, creaking branches, the occasional hoot of an owl. I stuck to the main path, doing slow loops between the tombstones. Some of the graves were so old, the names had been eroded to dust. Others looked freshly disturbed. I didn't dwell on that. Midnight came and went. I checked my watch. 12:06 a.m. Then I heard it. Leaves crunching, slowly. Not like a squirrel or a raccoon. Like feet, human feet. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I killed the light. Listened. The sound was coming from near the front gate. As I turned the flashlight back on, the beam fell on a small figure, standing just outside the wrought iron fence. A little girl, pale hoodie, hair down over her face. She barely reached the height of the lowest bars. "Mister, I forgot my key. Can you open the gate?" Her voice didn't match the setting. Too calm, too practiced, like someone mimicking what a child should sound like. She extended her hand through the bars. That's when I saw it. Her fingers, thin, too thin, like they had extra knuckles. I took a step back. My mouth opened instinctively, ready to ask, "Are you okay?" But I stopped. Rule 1, don't talk to them. So I didn't. I stayed quiet, turned away. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. Every part of me screamed to help her, to ask what she was doing out here. But I forced myself to keep walking, step by step by step. I felt her eyes, if she had eyes, follow me. She didn't scream, didn't beg, just whispered softly as I vanished into the shadows. "You're no fun." I should have quit. I told myself I would. I even typed out the resignation text the next morning. But then I stared at my bank app. $500. Already deposited. No fees, no delay. Clean. Easy money, right? So yeah, I went back. Same path. Same dead air. Same feeling in my gut. Like the trees were holding their breath. Only this time, something felt off. The silence was too thick. Even the wind sounded like it was whispering words I couldn't quite catch. Around midnight, I passed the twisted tree. You know what I should have done? Kept walking, kept my head down. But no. I looked. Beneath that warped skeleton of a tree sat a small stone mausoleum, just like the rule card said. Moss-covered door, slightly open, no name on the arch, just a symbol I didn't recognize, like an eye made of roots, and inside, movement. I froze. Someone, or something, waved at me from the shadows inside. My breath caught in my throat. It looked human, kind of. But its shadow on the mausoleum wall only had one arm. I took a step back. It took one forward. I ran, didn't think, didn't breathe. Just ran until my legs burned and my chest felt like it would burst. I didn't stop until I reached the fence at the far end of the cemetery. That's when my phone buzzed. No bars, no signal, but a notification still popped up. Unknown number. One rule broken. I dropped the phone. My blood turned to ice. How did they know? Was someone watching me? Or worse, was the cemetery itself alive somehow? At dawn, I rushed back to the entrance. The gates were open now. No sign of the girl. No sign of the man in the coat. But my car, my beat-up Honda Civic, was gone. In its place stood a brand new gravestone. Polished. Fresh. I walked up to it like I was in a dream. And I swear, my knees almost buckled when I read the name. My name. My birthday. Right there. No death date. Just a dash. An empty space. Waiting. I tried everything. I blocked the number, called the cops, reported my car stolen. No record of my shift. No sign of Mr. D. Even the job ad. Gone. Deleted. Like it had never existed. But here's the worst part. Every few days, my phone buzzes. Always the same notification. Unknown number. We're still watching. And sometimes, when I walk past mirrors, I catch something behind me. Just for a second. A face. Smiling. Not mine. So if you ever see that ad, $500 per night. No questions asked. Do me a favor, don't click it. Because once you do, you're already hired.